Hello and welcome to Arsenal Analysed. I'm JC. I hope you're doing well. Today I bring you a match preview for Arsenal's next fixture in the Europa League. Arsenal versus Bodo Glimt. Everything that you need to know before kickoff. If you are looking forward to today's video, go ahead and smash that like button. Subscribe if you're new around here. And don't forget to turn that notification bell button on, as you won't want to miss instant analysis after the game on Thursday evening. But let's waste no more time at all and jump into the recent form of both clubs. Kicking off with Arsenal, what a way off the back of a North London derby win. Not just any North London derby win, but a very, very convincing result, if I do say so myself. Only the one loss in our last 5 fixtures, and scoring goals doesn't seem to be much of an issue for Arsenal. And hopefully come Thursday evening, it's something that we can continue doing, scoring plenty of goals. Unfortunately, it's just the one fixture in the last 5 where we haven't conceded, so we may need to tighten up at the back, because if we have a look at Bodo Glimt's most recent form, whilst it is a little bit indifferent, they do know how to find the back of the net, scoring in all of their last 5 fixtures. But maybe a positive to take from these 5 is that they do also concede quite a few as well. So is it going to be one of those games where there are going to be plenty of goals, or because that's what's expected, we see a 0-0 draw? Let's wait and see what we find on Thursday evening. Now, this is a fixture that has never been played before in any competition. This is the very first meeting between both clubs. There is no history, no head-to-head. This will be the first ever meeting between both clubs. Hopefully, Arsenal can kick things off with a win before having to play them away from home later on this month. With regards to some interesting facts for both sides, Arsenal unbeaten in their last 9 home games, which makes for very, very good reading considering this fixture is at the Emirates. Only the one loss this season, which came at the hands of Manchester United, and we have won our last 3 games. So a lot of confidence and a lot of momentum coming into this fixture. Bodo Glimt, on the other hand, again, makes great reading for us Arsenal fans. They haven't kept a clean sheet in their last 6 games. However, no losses in their last 3 either. So you would think that they also are coming into this fixture high on confidence too. They do find themselves second in the Norwegian league after 24 games. They are 15 points behind league leaders, and there are a couple of teams just behind them in the league by only 1 or 2 points. So it's going to be interesting to see whether or not they field a fully strength team, if you will, or look to focus on the league to make sure they qualify for European competitions again next season. Now, having a look at when teams both score and concede goals in the competition so far, Arsenal have only played the 1 game, so not a lot of data here to really analyse. And likewise with Bodo Glimt, they have played 2 fixtures because Arsenal's fixture against PSV was postponed, and they do now find themselves top of the group, as we can see here in the bottom middle picture. And with a win, Arsenal will leapfrog Bodo Glimt with a game in hand. So fingers crossed we can get the W come Thursday evening. Injury news, no real new concerns as far as I'm aware from the research that I've done. Emile Smith Rowe will be out long term. Unfortunately, he will also miss the World Cup due to this injury. He needs to go away and have surgery in order to correct the problem with his groin. So we will not see him for the remainder of October and likely also November as well. Cedric picked up another knock. It was something that was only supposed to be a few weeks, but then he picked up another knock beyond the initial one, so he won't be available. And as most Arsenal fans are already aware, Mohamed Elneny also out long term, which begs the question of who may start in midfield if Arteta does want to rotate for this fixture. And having a look at Bodo Glimt's injury table, none, literally none. No suspensions, no injury concerns. That could change potentially between the time of recording this video and the game kicking off. Obviously, there will be training sessions between now and then, so that could potentially change. But as far as I'm aware, there are no injury or suspension concerns for Bodo Glimt. My danger man coming into this fixture, which has probably given away just slightly one of the players that I expect to start come Thursday evening, is Marquinhos. Bukayo Saka certainly deserves a rest, having played plenty of fixtures for both club and country this season already. And he was absolutely phenomenal in that first Europa League game. His first full debut for Arsenal. This will be his first full home debut in front of the fans, which will be fantastic for him. But he was absolutely exceptional, and I do expect him to have a big influence on this game as well. Previously, against FC Zurich, though, he managed to bag himself a goal, assist, 52 touches, 86% passing accuracy, 4 key passes, and that's exactly what I mean by influential. 2 shots, 3 successful crosses, and 2 successful duels. And I do hope that we see more and more of this man moving forwards, not only in the Europa League, but potentially in the FA Cup, depending on who we draw, but also maybe Brighton in the Carabao Cup coming up in the not so distant future as well. Which brings me on to my predicted lineup, answering the question in the thumbnail: will Arteta rotate? And could we see up to 8 changes from what we saw at the weekend against Tottenham Hotspur? As you can see on screen, this squad here is pretty much the exact same starting lineup that we saw against FC Zurich. We have certain players in certain positions where we do have, I wouldn't say backup or secondary players that you think would like to compete for a starting spot. Tomiyasu and Kieran Tierney, for example, could easily argue and push their counterparts in terms of starting each week. So 2 very, very good players coming in there. Likewise with Rob Holding, especially in this competition, it's a very, very good level for him. Where there is a slight concern for me, though, especially with the level and amount of fixtures that we have in October, all the way up until the World Cup even for that matter, is we don't have another left-sided centre-back. So we either play Gabriel or we rotate between him, maybe Ben White, maybe Saliba. Your guess is as good as mine, which is also another issue that we find in midfield. And had someone like ESR or even Elneny be fit, you would think that potentially, not guaranteed, but potentially there would be some rotation in midfield. But we did see in that first fixture of the Europa League that Granit Xhaka did have to come in due to the lack of depth in that position. And I do see that being the case again this time round. We want to make sure that we've got a fit squad ahead of an important game against Liverpool at the weekend. So senior first-team players like Granit Xhaka could be rotated after half-time should we have a comfortable lead. But I do expect the likes of Sambi and Vieira to come in so they can get minutes in the legs. Likewise with Marquinhos and Nketiah. But again, like side on the left wing, very similar to a few other positions in this squad where we don't have the depth. Maybe an ESR would come in. He played there quite often last season on that left wing. So there are gaps in this side and there will need to be some rotation. Do let me know down in the comments below. Is this the lineup that you would go with? How would you handle rotating players like Gabriel, Xhaka and Martinelli moving forward, given the level and amount of fixtures that we have over the course of the next 4 to 5 weeks? And then to finish up, a score prediction, our first Europa League game at home. And with all due respect, this is a side that Arsenal should be beating. Arsenal are a team with momentum and confidence behind them. And some of these players will want to make a statement so they can find themselves back in the first team, giving Arteta somewhat of a headache, if you will. And for that reason, I'm going to go for a 3-0 Arsenal victory with goals from Marquinhos as well as Nketiah. Let me know your score predictions down below and goal scorers. If you have enjoyed today's video, go ahead and smash that like button. Subscribe if you're new around here and get that notification bell button on because you won't want to miss instant analysis live straight after the game on Thursday evening. But for now, I'm JC. I'll catch you in the next one. Stay safe and take care, Gooners.